Hey guys, welcome to another Smartpreneur Live. I don't know if you guys are here. Is anybody here? Not yet. Okay, I'm gonna wait for you guys to join. But today we have a very special guest. I don't see that anybody. Hi, Ian Blue family. Right, I'm just gonna wait for a few more people to come on before I talk about who we're going to have with us today. Hello, thumbs up. Hi, thank you for joining us. So today we have an amazing person. I'm sure you guys are going to be so excited. Her name is Gbemi Olateru Olagbegi, and she is an OAP, but she's also an entrepreneur. So she'll be talking to us about her entrepreneurship experience. Hi, how are you doing? Thank you for joining. So let me get Gbemi on. I know she's here, so let me get her on so we can start. Hi, Savvy Media. Where is Gbemi? Okay, Gbemi is not here, but I know she's on standby because she just literally called me. So let's wait for her to get in here. Hi guys, thank you so much for joining us here today. I cannot wait for us to talk to Gbemi and learn from her wealth of experience. I'm really excited because she is not only, an entrepreneur, she's also an OAP. So I want to talk to her about how she juggles both roles. Okay, Gbemi has hit me up with a request. Yes, thank you. So Gbemi is going to be with us in about, a few seconds. Hi, Gbemi. Hi, darling. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
Fine, thank you. Thank you so much for making the time. I know you're super busy to join us today. I'm really excited because I feel like I rarely get to talk to women in the media space who are also in the business space, and I know that they're so different. So I feel like everyone's wants to learn from you and your experience and all that good stuff. So I feel like everyone knows you, so I don't even know where to start. But for those who don't know you, let me go through your bio, which I have here. So our guest today, everybody who's watching, is Gbemi Olateru Olagbegi. She's a popularly known radio presenter who's enjoyed a successful career, as we all know, filled with accolades and recognition. And she has been listed as 10, I didn't know this, you are listed as one of the most powerful people in Nigeria.
Begu.
In the media. As 10, let me read it as they wrote it too. As one of the 10 most powerful people in media under 40 in Nigeria. That's amazing.
Okay.
So, yes, that's you. And you're also the founder and CEO of Gbemi Soke Shoes, a brand that produces affordable, comfortable, and stylish shoes for women. I love your shoes, Gbemi. I feel like they don't come in my size, which is why I have not patronized you. I'm a 38. I'm a 38.
We do have, we started out as a company that catered to, mainly women with big feet. But then people who had smaller feet were like, what about us? What about us? And then we started to create smaller sizes as well, in small quantities. But we do have pretty much from size 37 to 46.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, now I know. Okay, great. Because there's some clear mules I've been eyeing. So now I know I can get them. I'll definitely hop on that. Yeah. Awesome. So, maybe let's talk about you. Let's talk about radio. I feel like you're always on this side and now it's like swapping.
I know. It can be weird being interviewed.
Yeah, I understand. But I just want to know more about you. How you transitioned from the media space into the business space, why you felt the need to do that, and how you've been able to successfully manage both, because I know both careers can be pretty demanding.
But I'm used to juggling things. I've been doing it for years. So when I went to school in the US, studied at Oakland University, got a degree there. And then my dad said, come visit. You haven't come home all this while. Come visit, and here I am. So
that old trick.
I know. So I ended up doing NYSC, and I was posted to NTA in VI, where I was a junior reporter. But I realized that my day would only start from like 12 o'clock, or like say 1, till whenever, the story I was assigned was done. So I applied at the time to Cool FM, and I got a job. I just applied for anything, Sha. And then they gave me the position of like a news editor. So I was doing I was editing the news from like news bulletin pretty much from like 6 a.m. to I think was it 6 to 11 or 6 to 12? I can't remember now my time belt. So basically I'd get there at, let's say, 6 a.m.
Wow.
Edit the news for the morning belt into the afternoon, and then leave, and then go to NTA and then start my day there as well. Another time I was juggling, yeah, and eventually from there, when my NYSC was done, I was retained at Cool FM and got a show there and everything. And while I was there, I was like, oh, I should get a master's. Why not? And so I was doing this full-time radio gig at the same time, doing this full-time master's degree in 1 year.
Wow.
Yeah. So it wasn't like a part-time thing. And so I'm used to that. I'm used to juggling stuff. But if anyone had told me that I'd do business, I would have laughed and said, haha, very funny. Because I always thought, look, I don't have energy for drama. I don't have energy for the stress that business brings, you know, and it's a lot of, it can be very chaotic. But I just found myself doing it. And before I started selling shoes, I sold a bunch of stuff. I've sold hair, I have sold stockfish, I have sold rechargeable.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. I have.
You would never have imagined.
Never. But I just really liked the freedom, the financial freedom that it gave me. And so that is why I continued to do business and eventually started up Gbemi Soke Shoes. So, yeah.
That's amazing. And I love hearing your backstory, because I feel like a lot of people, when they see you, you know, as a radio presenter, they don't really understand what has gone into that. And, you know, you talk about, you know, 6 a.m. news belt. I also have a news background, so I know how it is. You get there, you know, 5 a.m., 6 a.m., prepare the news. You've got to be on top of it, you know. So that is actually a lot of rigorous training. And I feel like that kind of translates into business a little bit as well, because you have to have that sort of discipline and that sort of drive. Not just to start, because I always say that to start in business is sweet. You do your business card, your logo, you know, it's fun, it's sweet. But to be able to sustain it really is the main thing. And I think it's what a lot of people struggle with. So I want to talk about Gbemi Soke Shoes from when you started. I know you had a big launch party. I wasn't invited, I just saw the party on Instagram. But it
wasn't a launch party. What happened?
Okay.
So, first of all, moving back, even while I was in the US, I realized that it was really hard to find my shoe size. I wear a US 11, which is a 43, or 42 if you squeeze it in. And a lot of times it was difficult. Like, you know how, I don't know if you remember, like when you were in school and you and your friends like, oh, we should go out this Friday, or we should go out. Look at what NEPA has done. Just give me 2 seconds.
Okay. All right, guys. So I hope you're enjoying our chat with Gbemi. Please drop your questions if you have any questions, so I can put them to her.
Give me 2 seconds.
No problem, Gbemi. We're just here, just staying in the comment section. Are you guys enjoying this chat? Oh, jeez, my tripod now wants to mess me up. Gbemi, someone said Gbemi is a hustler. Yes, so most definitely. Okay, I don't want to touch this tripod because I feel like it doesn't want to stay. Oh, there we go. Sorry, guys, technical difficulties. I'm trying to, is it going to stay? Oh, okay, technology. Right, so you guys, if you have any questions, please let us know. Drop them down below. If not, I hope you guys are enjoying our chat so far. I feel like I'm learning so much, you know, in terms of...
The power will come up in like 2 seconds.
Okay,
but should
no
we
problem.
continue speaking or should I just chill?
No, let's continue. It's fine.
Okay,
let's continue.
So what I started doing was when I would go away for the summer, I started to buy like a lot of shoes. Well, first of all, for myself, I started getting like, you know what? I don't even like orange, but I found this shoe that's orange, or this pair of shoes is orange in my size. I'm just going to buy it and I'll figure out how to match, you know, put it together with my wardrobe later. And eventually I started thinking, well, why can't I just get like an extra suitcase and just pretty much sell to other women. So that's what I started doing basically, and that's how I started to sell shoes. First of all, it wasn't Gbemi Soke shoes or anything. It was just Gbemi traveling, and then eventually I started ordering from websites, ordering from here, ordering from there, and then I'll have people ship it over. And so, like, you know, when you go on Facebook, see, like the
Yay! There is life. You're back. Awesome.
So, you know, when you go on Facebook and um, it shows you memories, basically. I remember, like, I'd get, like, my shipment of shoes and then I'll display everything. I start to take pictures. Instagram wasn't big then, so I'd take pictures on Facebook, put a phone number there. If you want to order, call this number, so and so and such and such. And then that's how it started. And then eventually I started toying with the idea of actually having my own shoe line. And then I looked around and there were not really a lot of Nigerian shoe brands. Basically, what you would see were those who would make like palm slippers, you know, the flat shoes, and not particularly like the stylish shoes that we would wear out to work, or we wear out to the club, or we wear out to church. And so I did a lot of research for like a year or two, and eventually Whimsical Shoes was born in 2015. Now, the event you're talking about happened in 2016, a year after. So I didn't want to celebrate anything because I wasn't sure if it would work, you know. And even when, you know, I got my first shipment of Whimsical Shoes, I didn't have a lot of money. Nobody gave me any money or anything. And I just said, let me just clear out my account and see how this goes. And so when I received the first shipment of shoes, this was in February of 2015, I just left them. I left some, I put them in my parents' house. There were some in my apartment, some in my colleague Chico's house, and I just left it there, like, because I was afraid. You know, I didn't know. And I was like, okay, so what am I supposed to do now with these 600 pairs of shoes? What was I thinking?
Wow.
Who asked me? Yeah.
Just looking at it can be overwhelming when you have stock. I know exactly what you mean. Just even seeing the stock.
I was just thinking, like, oh my God, like, okay, so what am I going to do now? Like, okay, so I have these shoes. Where do I start? And it was, I think, April that I started talking to friends, and they were like, what are you doing? You can't just have hundreds of shoes sitting down and you're not going to do anything. You can't waste your money. So start. So I had a friend design a logo. I had another friend look at the logo to vet it. Another friend organized a photo shoot. All this time there was no name, by the way, because I hadn't figured out again what I was doing. I just said, let me do something.
Just try.
Eventually I put some of the shoes on Jumia, Konga, the e-commerce platforms, and also reached out to friends for PR, and boom, Whimsical Shoes was born. And here we are 5 years after.
That's an amazing story. And you know one of the things I love about your story is that you talk about how you are afraid, because I feel like people looking at you saying, "Women's a celebrity now. What is it?" Once she just says she has a shoe line, all the 600 shoes will fly.
No.
You know,
that was I was just very worried, and like, oh, would people like the shoes? Would they fail? Would it, you know? But I was just like, you know what? If it fails, it fails. If it works, it works. Let me just do it. I would never know unless I try. So, and that's how.
Okay, great. I love the fact that you're being so honest with us. We all really appreciate it. I want to talk about Remy as a celebrity. Do you feel your celebrity status, because you do have that, you know, name recognition, helped you in terms of maybe, because I don't know if you have distributors, so please let us know if you do have distributors around the country, but do you feel having a name helped you in terms of accessing your target market and sort of even in terms of PR as well, getting the word out there about, you know, your shoe brand?
Let me start by saying that I never got into this industry with the hopes of becoming popular or becoming a celebrity. When I first got into radio in 2005, radio presenters were heard and not seen. You know, the social media wasn't as big, and you pretty much you could just come do your job and go. All we had then were, there were no blogs. What was there was City People, the sub-cell tabloids.
Okay, and Kumioma and all of them.
And the newspapers and stuff. So it was, I got in just because I liked the radio, I liked music, I loved, I just loved, cheering people up on the radio and stuff like that. And eventually things changed. And so it was very uncomfortable, and it still is quite uncomfortable for me when I go out and people are like, "Oh, I know you," and I'm like, "You don't know."
You don't really.
And, some people love it. I really don't. It just makes me
Yeah.
like, ah. So yeah, so that's one. But launching it, I didn't want to just assume launching Pimsily shoes that, oh, just because people know me or know my name or whatever it is,
Mm,
that it will just fly off the shelves and stuff like that. I received a lot
mm,
of support. It did help, definitely did
mm.
help with, awareness and stuff. But it also, I think, in a way, people are just thought, oh, because she's popular and because she's trying to start a business,
Yeah.
everything she's going to be selling is going to be luxury and expensive.
Yeah. Yes, people have
So
that assumption when it comes to
even
celebrities or
till
well-known people.
yeah, even
It's
till
true.
now, people still say, "Oh, I didn't know the shoes were that affordable." Our most expensive pair of shoes right now are 16,000 naira. That's the
Wow.
high, and I did it on purpose because, let's be real, 90% of people in this country are not wealthy. Okay,
It's true.
they're not wealthy, and I'm not going to be unrealistic and think, okay, I want to come and sell. If people want to do that, that's fine. But I was looking at
Mm.
the picture and I wanted to
Yeah.
do that to a bigger market, basically.
Mm-hmm.
In
Mm-hmm.
fact, um, the original plan for the shoes was I didn't want anything over 10,000 naira. But
Wow.
also note that at the end of 2015 into 2016, the dollar went from 180 to 300 and
Mm.
something. And so I
Yeah.
was like, okay, how do we work this out? So that had to um, change a few things in terms of pricing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so that being popular or having a known name did help.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, in more ways than.
And okay, interesting. So I love the way you talked about, fluctuations in the dollar, because I think anybody who has a business where there's an importation angle faces that challenge. Even now, the dollar's gone to, I think it's 450, 460. So
Mm-hmm.
again, people are having to, review their prices, review their profit margins, and that sort of a thing. So I want to just ask you in terms of the like scaling your business and also the day-to-day of your business for people who do want to juggle. Maybe someone's in a 9 to 5 and they think, I have this idea, I want to start a jewelry line, food business, something on the side, but they're not sure how they can implement the structure to sort of keep both going. Would you say that you rely on hiring people like managers and people like that who can also work alongside you? So maybe when you're busy on radio, they can sort of pack orders,
Yeah,
or can you talk to us about your structure so people can sort of think about
yeah.
how they can also get into juggling?
Yeah, for I just want to say now that you need first of all to realize what you want to achieve with your business. Is it a vanity project or is it a real business? Because a lot of times popular people come up with, oh, I have my hairline, or I have my lash line, or I have my this line, or I have my that line, my whatever line, and a year or two or less, you don't hear anything about it anymore.
Yeah.
This is an actual, so you decide what you want to do. I figured that I wanted a proper business. I wanted it to thrive. I wanted it to succeed. And you can't do everything by yourself. You have to hire people. Hiring people. It's not very easy to find competent people. That is for sure. You need to
I've
find.
leaned forward because I want to know how you're able to deal with people and
I
staff.
mean,
I just want to hear
no, I
because I
mean,
know it can be tough.
staff will come and go, and I always tell entrepreneurs at the end of the day, if staff want to leave, they don't owe you. I mean, it's not by force to stick with you, for most of their lives or whatever. People will come and go, and you have to keep
Yeah.
that at the back of your mind. So I just feel like, first of all, you need to just hire people that you feel can handle the job. Everybody has their own requirements on what sort of staff they want. Some people don't care if you have a degree. Some people care if you have a degree. Some people really, but
Mm.
I think it's important. I always seek to find people who actually have a degree or are in the process
Okay.
of getting one. I think that I find those people easier to work with, to explain things to, and so on. And just because they have a degree also doesn't mean they're going to be good at the job. So you
True.
also have to take a lot of time to train on, what your company culture is, how they should pick up the phone, how they can, deal with conflicts with the customer, or when they should escalate to you, and
Yeah.
so on. And
Sorry,
you
we
have
meant to
to have,
interrupt you. I agree with you because I think a lot of people hire and they assume that the person already knows, what to do, knows their company culture, and then when the staff don't, do something properly, they end up shouting, getting frustrated, getting annoyed. So I'm so glad that you highlighted that training is actually just such a huge part of having staff and staff retention as well.
yeah, so you need to do all that. One thing I would say is that you need to still keep an eye on your business. So no matter how competent, I feel like, look, this is your blood and sweat, and you don't just hire people and go to sleep. Some people are able to do that, but I can't. I still have to just keep watching just to make sure you're doing the right things. I've seen friends who have, I call it madaming. They've put up this business, they've hired someone, and they're nowhere to be seen. And you let the staff do everything, and a lot of times they're not going to, do everything wholeheartedly because it's not their vision.
Yeah,
They're working for you to earn a living. It's your vision, so you need to ensure that they're doing the right things and they run your business into the ground, pretty much. So you have to keep an eye on them and just keep teaching, keep training. Training never ends. Let me just tell you now, even you as the business owner, you're training yourself. You're going to adjust to so many things happening in the world. You just keep learning. I call myself a learner all the time. I try to read up on entrepreneurs who are in Nigeria and outside Nigeria, and it can be a bit frustrating with entrepreneurs in Nigeria because a lot of times some of them don't actually speak up and really say what exactly it is that they're going through.
I agree. I feel like there's too much packaging.
Yeah, there's a lot of, it's God. Great, it's God and it's fantastic. But when this problem came about, how did you resolve it? How did you sort it out? Did you receive a loan? Did you get an investment? Something. You have to, I remember, and I'll take you back to this aspect of money. Like I said, I started a business with just my own savings, and I could only afford one style of shoes. Was a pair of flat shoes, 2 colors, 2 sizes. And I remember seeing some comments on some blogs when the press release came out. How do you start? How can you start a business with only 2 sizes? Or why is it called Boom? It's okay if the shoes are flat. It's okay. In a few months, I was able to launch heels. So don't worry about what people are going to say or whatever it is. Just do it. And so that's when people say, "Oh, how did you start with money? Did you?" I'm not gonna lie and say, "Oh, I had all this." I struggled. There was a struggle, but it was something that I just realized. Look, I also have to just keep an eye on things. After some time, the e-commerce platforms that I placed the products on were not working, so I had to pull them off those platforms and pretty much just hire people to monitor our DMs and stuff, and monitor the Instagram pages, the Facebook, the Twitter, all of that, so that they could speak with customers one-on-one and so on. Even when it came to a website, here's what I found out. We had a website where you could just go click, buy, and we deliver to you. I realized also that a lot of Nigerian women don't know their shoe size.
Right, really?
Very surprising. Very, very surprising. But a lot of Nigerian women don't know their shoe size. And it's not their fault. Majority of the population is not going to boutiques or, buying from your ASOS or your Zara. They're going to the market. Where are the shoes from the market from? The East. And a lot of times, my good brothers over there, they just make shoes and paste any size on sometimes there's no size. They'll just say, put your leg. And whichever one fits, that's the one that you wear. So we've had to do a lot of work as well with the customers and say, okay, in fact, going as far as, could you measure your foot? Measure your foot. Absolutely. Measure and let us know. Stuff like that. Just so that they can figure out their size.
Their size, yeah. I think that's so interesting. And you've touched upon something that I've noticed as well, which is that a lot of people talk about the e-commerce space in Nigeria and how e-commerce is booming. But I feel like I've had a similar experience to you in terms of, I feel like Nigerian consumers, they want to ask questions, before they buy. I think it's very natural because they say when you go to the market, okay, which one you get, you talk about it, you try on different ones. So even if consumers are buying online, they still want to have that same experience of, okay, let me ask a few questions, let me understand, how does it work? When will it come? Even if you write all of it on a website, it still doesn't give that same assurance as actually having.
They prefer to speak to a human being. Another thing, I think e-commerce sites also work a lot for people who are selling items that you don't need to figure out your size or your shade, for example. If you're selling, for example, vitamin C, you understand, you can just buy vitamin C. But if you're selling stuff that has sizing, and they need to be guided as to what size they wear, or if they have wide feet, or if they have narrow feet, or if they have long toes or short toes or whatever, because we ask all these questions. So it's a lot of patience, and I always tell my staff, you have to be patient. You can't just rush the person off. If the person messages us and says, oh, do you have a size 41 in blue, we are like, okay, can you please tell us what is your UK size, what is your US size? We don't know. You check your shoes, what's the most commonly retail, all those things. You have to really take your time, and it also saves us the trouble of the exchange thing as well.
Yes, I was going to ask if you do returns, actually.
Yeah, you can exchange.
Okay.
We do returns, maybe if there's like a defect or something with the shoes, but that's a very, very rare occurrence. But
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But do you find that people take advantage? Because I think that's one of the fears of, that's why a lot of people don't do returns or exchanges. They feel someone's going to get the shoes, wear the shoes for maybe 1 week, and say they now want to, exchange it or something. So have you found that sort of happening?
We experienced that, actually. A lady bought a pair of shoes, and she got the shoes, and then a week later she says, oh, you know what, I don't like them anymore and I'd like to return them. And so we said, okay, fine. And our dispatch person picked up the shoes, and then when we got the shoes, you could tell that this person had worn them. So at some point we stopped them altogether, and then eventually we're like, okay, you can exchange, but there's this time frame. You can indicate that you want to exchange between this time and this time.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah. So all that.
Yeah. Because I feel like, I don't know, us Nigerians share sometimes.
I know. Trust me, we have dealt with a lot of interesting people, basically. So many different people. It's quite interesting.
Yeah, I can imagine. But you guys are still here standing. You're still here doing great. So that's actually a testament to your customer service as well as your product. So I do want to really commend you on that. And I want to talk about, in terms of selling, because without sales, there's no business. That's really the honest truth of it. How have you been able to leverage social media? You talked a bit about Facebook and about Twitter. But do you find that you do more sales online or offline, or is it a combination of both? And how have you been able to sort of focus? Because I feel like sometimes with a lot of new brands, especially brands that are big on Instagram, you find there's a lot of hype, a lot of excitement, a lot of followers, but sales don't always follow.
Yeah, it doesn't always translate. Absolutely.
Yeah, you can have 1,000 followers and loads of sales, or some people have 30,000 followers and maybe not that many sales, but they have a brand name. So how have you been able to balance the two, where you have a solid brand name, but you're also, making sales to ensure that your business is kept afloat?
The first thing is, if you're going to use social media, you have to post constantly. You have to post every day. Even if you don't have anything to post a meme, post something. Even if it's stories, just post something, or a poll or something, just to remind people that you are there. With this ever-changing algorithm, a lot of times your posts could be buried and people don't get to see them.
Yeah.
So you should always post. Also interact with your customers a lot. When they, drop comments, reply. Answer your DMs on time. There's nothing that irks me than when I DM like a vendor or a store on Instagram, and an hour later they still haven't responded. That's literally, I always train my staff to be on it. Like, as soon as they message you, because people's attention span is really short. So you need to get them. And if they are taking the time out of their day to say, hi, I'm interested in this, answer them immediately. Do you understand?
Mm.
So that's one.
Mm.
Instagram has definitely been the platform that I would say that we've gotten most of our sales from, actually. Yes, for people who say, okay, I want to try on the shoes first, I want to see if I can walk in the shoes
Mm.
first. We do have some physical stores that we partner with where you can go and try on the shoes and purchase on the spot.
Okay, I think I
Someone,
saw that advertised. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I think I saw
so
that
you can
advertised.
put that. There's some on the island, some on the mainland, and sometimes they change depending on what's happening with the stores. Some stores have shut down, so you partner with another person and so on.
Okay.
So yeah, Instagram is the main. I've also realized that um, each platform has a different audience. I realized that the Facebook audience is different and the demographic is different from the people who are on Instagram and so on. So, but Instagram remains, I think, the platform that has helped us with sales the most. Also, with Instagram ads, we do Instagram ads a lot. We take note of the insights. Okay, what times are people mostly online? Let's post then. We also try to ask questions and just basically get feedback from customers. Would you prefer this or would you prefer this in the next collection? Would you like higher heels or lower heels? Would you like the stiletto or would you like thicker heels? Different things. We ask different things just to keep it interactive. Another thing that we do is once in a while, like maybe once or twice a year, we do like a physical sale where people can come down and either look at the new collection and try them on and buy, or maybe that we do like a small discount basically, and they come through. So that also gets a lot of people. After the sale, we're all just exhausted. Yeah. So yeah, I just think that you should if you're going to use social media, use it properly, use it well.
Okay, fantastic. And you talked about a pop-up sale, which I've seen advertised, and I know friends who have gone, got shoes, been happy, felt, I got a discount. Yes, everything is well. So would you ever think about moving more into the brick and mortar space in terms of having your own stores? Or do you think, because right now with COVID, it seems like everyone is going digital and digital is the future and people are just trying to build on their digital presence. So in terms of expansion, are you thinking more digital? Or are you thinking more brick and mortar?
So the plan for the 5th year anniversary for Gbemisoke was that we would eventually move into like a brick and mortar store, no matter how small. I spent a lot of time late last year, just looking at different places, speaking to different people, trying even figuring out, okay, should I share a space with someone, etc. And then COVID happened, and I was like, this is a sign. I'm not doing this like now. It won't. If we're gonna do a brick and mortar store, it will be much later. I have spoken to friends who have similar businesses who have said that having a store actually does boost your sales. Okay, so which is great, but there are so many things that we couldn't afford a brick and mortar store in the first place. That is why we didn't even start out that way, because like I said, we're just trying to make sure that the pricing was moderate. We're not trying, it's not a luxury brand, it's a high street brand, affordable, stylish. So thinking about, we get a brick and mortar store in Lagos, for example, you're looking at millions of naira. A lot of times landlords and co would want to charge you 2 years in advance.
Yeah.
You understand? Then you get the staff. Then you get your CCTV. If not, they'll rob you blind. There's just so much. And by the time you do all that, something that you're supposed to sell for 10,000 naira, you end up selling for 20,000 naira because you're trying to cover all those costs that you have put in. Store. What I'm also trying to do is also to get into other countries in Africa. So we have like a distributor in Ghana, for example.
Nice.
And we do ship worldwide, by the way. So we do have customers who have ordered from, some parts of. I remember shipping to, I think it was Korea once, and I was like, "What?
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. I was like, okay. Yeah, this was interesting. But so we do ship worldwide, and it's quite fast thanks to DHL. But So yeah, we're still trying to.
So can I
Also,
ask you on the worldwide shipping? I just want to get a sense of that because I know that fees, with some brands they say that because let's say your product is 10,000 and your shipping is 10,000, that sometimes deters international customers. So have you been able to do that to still, ship internationally, but you know what I mean, without the fees
I
being
understand
a
some customers don't mind.
deterrent?
Some
Okay.
customers don't mind. They're just like, okay, I still want the shoes. Sometimes
Okay.
we ship
Awesome.
like multiple shoes down to different customers, and
Yeah.
we're very grateful. One
Mm.
thing also is that DHL helps small businesses by having like special rates for small and medium enterprises, basically. So
Yeah.
the rate is different from if someone just walked into one of their
Walks in.
their offices and wanted to send stuff. So they've kind of subsidized the rates a little bit as well. So yeah.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, Remy, I want to go back to radio a little bit and talk about, in terms of your career as a radio personality, do you feel that you've learned anything from radio or gotten anything from radio that sort of helped you in what you're doing in business?
To be on radio, you have to be very disciplined. Basically, for example, if your show is at 4 o'clock, for example, you're supposed to be in the building by 3 o'clock because they don't want you rushing into the studio, panting, stressed out from Lagos traffic. They want you to be calm, chill, doing research for your show. Just so you get into the studio calm and just in a calm state of mind. You have to be very disciplined. You have to be mindful of time. You have to be prepared at all times. You have to know what's happening in the world at all times. So to be in radio, you have to be very, very disciplined. And I think that has helped with business as well. Like I remember when we first started and my staff would, one of them said, "Oh, we just want the messages to pile up before we reply." And I was like, "What?" That doesn't happen. You need to be on the money. You need to be on the money. You need to act like this is your only customer and the rent is due today. Get in there, do what you're supposed to do, pretty much. Like, so you have to be very, almost military, pretty much. And incidentally, I went to a military secondary school.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So you really have to be precise and be very, very disciplined in what you're doing. So that helps as well.
Okay.
You need to know what's happening in the world. You need to know, okay, what's going on, what's happening in this country, what are the major headlines, so you have to, and I pass that on also to staff as well. So you need to be very vigilant, very aware, reply to messages as quickly as possible. What's happening? Oh, they say the dollar is going to go up again. What are we going to do? What's the plan? All these things.
Okay. Amazing. And I just thought of it now actually. Has anyone ever called you guys out on social media? Like, how people go on rants? Like, oh, I bought shoes from Baby, it's okay. And like, have you guys ever had anything? Yeah?
Absolutely. Yeah,
wow.
That has happened on our pages though, not just somewhere else. And at the end of the day, you're dealing with human beings, and you don't know what that person has gone through. Whether they woke up on the wrong side of bed, or even if it was your own staff that actually took them there to that point. So you just try to diffuse the situation. Think of a way to just appease them. Okay, what can we do? Okay, well, 10% off your next purchase. Would this help this situation? And you apologize. It's very simple. It's nothing to be cocky about. There are some people that will come at you very nasty, but you just you just try to just try to keep. But some people, unless they get to the point where they're like throwing like insults and you're like, we're not going to have this conversation now. Perhaps maybe when you feel better we can have a conversation. Do you understand? I remember there was and some people that just there was a lady who wanted us to bring our entire collection to her house to try on one by one before paying. She just wanted to see how it went with her skin complexion, and I was like, the staff came to me and asked, and I was like, no, we can't do that, because what if the delivery guy goes there, carries 10 pairs of shoes to your house,
Yeah.
and you use a dog to chase the guy out, or you threaten him. You understand? You have to
Yeah.
yes, you're trying to appease the customer. At the same time, you also have to be smart and also protect your business.
Yeah.
So we have to, respectfully and kindly decline and say no. And the funny thing is that we had obliged her request the first time. This was like our first year in business. We were still green. We didn't understand, So I let that happen. So when the next set of shoes came, she wanted that, and we tried to explain that we obliged you the first time because we were like, you're not sure of your size in our shoes. But now that you know your size in our shoes, there's absolutely no reason for this to happen. And the woman came and wrote this paragraph, and we're like, sorry. No, sorry.
It can't work. Yeah,
I think people need to realize that no matter what, no matter how perfect your brand is, no matter how wonderful your product is, somebody somewhere is just going to decide that they're not satisfied with your service or with your product or with how you handle them, and they're going to lash out. And you shouldn't look at it as it's the end of the world. And I also want people to realize that when they see that, it doesn't also mean that the business is a bad business. They don't know how to tend to their customers and everything. Like you said, there are two sides to a story. Some people even say there are three sides to a story. So, yeah.
I agree. I think there's that saying, customers always right. But I think sometimes, like you said, you have to draw a line. Customers sometimes can be a bit unreasonable in my business.
Yeah.
When they say, "Oh, can we pay on delivery?" And then, like, I do press on nails. I don't know if you knew that. And
I know
press
that.
on nails. Okay, baby, please patronize me. Or let me show you my nails. See these ones.
I don't want to show you my nails right now. Like, no.
I'll send you some. Don't worry. You try them, and then if you like them, afterwards, next time. But so the lady will get the nails, and she will look at them. This particular customer I'm thinking of, and she was like, "Oh, the color looks different online. That there is no red, it's peach." I said, "It's red now." She said, "No, it's not red. That the guy should return it." Actually, so that's why we stopped doing pay on delivery. Because I think sometimes people don't realize the amount of effort it takes even to run an online business in terms of dealing with logistics and all the rest of it. So lines have to be drawn at certain points. I kind of relate to what you're saying.
Trust me, we've seen it all. We've seen all sorts of stuff. So I mean, I don't think anything can shock me anymore. Pretty much. Yeah.
And you're still standing. That's the main thing. Frustration comes.
Look, it's not
frustration
easy.
Goes.
I have to say, people just glamorize entrepreneurship in this country and think, "Oh my God, everything is great, everything is wonderful." There have been some times that I've sat on the floor like God and held my hand in my head like, "God, who sent me? Like, really, really, what is this nonsense?" Like when the dollar went to 500 at some point last month, I think I wailed. I sat on the floor and I wailed and I cried like, "Oh my God, what is this?" But after you cry, after you become emotional, you then have to think about logic and start to think, okay, how am I going to do this? How am I going to restructure things and so on?
Yeah. Pick it up like that. And so just on that sort of track, do you have any mentors? People say, "Oh, I have this business mentor that when I go off, when things are going wrong, I can talk to them, they can advise me and all the rest of it." Do you find that you have mentors that you go to? Is it more people that you sort of see from afar, online courses and things like that?
Well, like I said, I read a lot of interviews. I basically try to keep up and listen to what business people have to say outside the country and within the country. Then I also have older friends who, are in their 40s, who have gone through pretty much all sorts of things. They're not necessarily in the same line of business as I am at all, but they can give a little advice. Why don't you try this? Why don't you do this? Okay, maybe you should try something else. Maybe you should diversify. They just, I think it really helps to speak with people who have seen it all. You're over here wailing about your seemingly big problem, and then when they tell you their own, you're like, sorry. Okay. You understand it? They also try to, I guess, reassure you that, what, just because you're going through something now doesn't mean that your business is going to collapse, doesn't mean that you're a terrible business person, doesn't mean that you can't learn your lesson and move on and so on. So I think it's definitely and people like that, it doesn't just happen. You don't just attend events and be like, I like you to be my mentor. You know, it happens, or I find that it's better for these things to happen organically. You meet people and eventually you speak, and then you are comfortable enough to start to ask them questions. Okay, what do I do when this happens? Or what do I do when XYZ happens, and so on. So
yeah, I agree. And I like the fact that you said it's not just, because people just think you go to one, you know, the Wimbiz, and then you see someone on the stage, then you go and meet them afterwards. Hello, ma, my name is so, 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 and so. And you know, and sometimes it's like, it's about relationship. Like you said, it's not just about meet you today, tomorrow, please, ma, can you give me 5 million because I want to do XYZ in my business. It's, you know, people need to feel connected to you in order to be able to share and to be comfortable. So thank you so much for sharing. All right, you guys, this is question time. Or please, if you have any questions. Hi, Lola Nacha says, my girls.
I've seen a lot of people who have been sending messages and stuff. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. So waiting on your questions. If you don't have, let me scroll all the way down. I think I'm kind of a bit behind. Okay, I scrolled up. Okay. So someone's saying, Remy, you've tried your hands on different businesses, but how long should we expect Remy Soke Shoes to remain in the game?
Hopefully, so my children can come and take over. That's
Amen.
You know, hopefully that should continue as well. And now that COVID has happened, I'm also looking at other businesses as well. So it's not just, oh, I've started this business, I have to, you know, you can do other things as well.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm used to juggling stuff, so I'm also looking, researching, and it's a very uncertain time. So you need to be careful and don't just jump into something just because you never know. You can wake up tomorrow and they say, okay, COVID has finished, and you're like, okay. So you just need to keep, I don't know, I'm still doing a lot of research, basically. And whichever one, I guess, makes the most sense and feels right, I could start another business.
Fantastic.
Someone is asking, what's your entrepreneurial drive? I don't want to be poor. That's the drive. Let's just be honest. I don't want to be poor, honestly. And a lot of people wonder, okay, then why do you're on radio, you're popular, you're this, you're that. And I have to say, look, if you're trying to get into the media industry in Nigeria and you want that to be your only source of income, I hate to break it to you, but it's the truth. You're going to need more income, basically. Especially if you want to live comfortably, you're going to need more income, basically. So, yeah.
I can second that. I agree.
So don't believe the hype, or don't believe the hype. That's why I try not to. When people are like, oh, I just try to be as honest as possible. You're not going to become a billionaire as an OAP in this country. Let's just be real. Name one billionaire OAP. None. So yeah.
Okay. Thank you for the honesty. I could add to that. I will not. I will just agree. So Remy saying, we're expecting different designs from Remy Soke Shoes. So
yes, we have different designs. Yes, we are. We also have to keep in mind that a lot of times we're also dealing with. It's nice to have designs, but the bigger a person's foot, the more likely they're gonna have wide feet. So what will it profit us to have these funky designs with straps here, straps here, straps here, straps here? And majority of your customers can't, their feet can't go in. So we've learned that over the years as well. So a lot of times our designs are with a lot of people in mind. Okay, will people with average size feet be able to be comfortable in this? Will people with wide feet, be comfortable in this? Will people with narrow feet as well? So that sometimes limits the sorts of styles that we can create. Well.
Okay, fantastic. All right, any other questions, you guys? Please do send them. We have a few more minutes before Instagram cuts us off. So please do ask. Please do share. Actually, I have one. I feel like, you're now married, Remy. I think when you came on Moments before you got married, I remember it was a show about singles that we did. It was really
long time ago, yeah.
I know. It was fun, actually. It was girls talk. And now that you are married, do you find that you have more, because you're juggling more, right? You're juggling home, you're juggling radio, you're juggling Remy Soke. Do you find it was an adjustment after you got married to be able to still do everything?
It's a little bit of an adjustment because now you're living with a whole nother human being, and you can't just neglect that human being. You have to, have, you and your spouse time, basically. How are you? How's your day? What happened in the office today? Oh my God, who annoyed you today? That sort of stuff. You still have to. So I feel like you also need to, when choosing a partner, you have to think of, is this person going to be supportive of my career or my plans, or are they going to try and say, no, I don't want to hear anything about your work. Please go and make me soup.
Get in the kitchen.
So having a supportive, and this goes for both genders, really.
Yeah.
Having a supportive spouse is very, very important as well. Trust me, we've put him to work. He has carried boxes and boxes. Yes, he has done it all. So I mean, and that's, you should be able to do that for your partner as well.
I agree.
Help them in their whatever way you can. Render some sort of assistance, even if it's advice. I mean, if you have the money to help them, great. All those things as well. Yeah. So.
Right, so Lord Babajide says, what is your value proposition for Gbemisoke, and are you considering brand extension into other similar businesses, i.e. bags?
Yes, like I mentioned before, we are considering different things. But see, you have to just, when you don't just jump into a business, you have to think about it. Who's going to buy this thing? Is it going to be... First, I remember when we first came up, people were like, do you have the bag? And I realized, how many to match shoe and bag sets do you have? That thing happened a lot in our mommy's generation. Like, today's ladies will buy shoes from this place, get a matching bag from another place. Do you know what I'm talking about? That's to match shoe and bag sets. Like, how many people do that? Do you understand? So it depends on your audience, and we have mostly young people basically buying from us. Mostly young people in Nigeria. Let's just even say 70% of the Nigerian population is under the age of 30. So you have to also think about all those things. So we're thinking of bags. We're thinking of so many things. But like I said, I like to take my time. So I'm not scratching my head and thinking, had I known, so yeah.
It's true. Okay, Remy says, keep up the amazing customer service at Gbemisoke Shoes. We have a fan. The audience. That's awesome. And then someone else says, I'd like to own a shoe brand someday. Please, I should ask you if you do a masterclass on where to source materials and how to handle logistics. A masterclass, that would be amazing, actually.
See, I'm one of the people who, quote unquote, use at masterclass. Instagram is going to cut us off in a second. I'm one of the people who makes fun of the whole masterclass thing. I think eventually when the time comes for a masterclass, I'd probably do it, and then guide you as to where to source, factories to work with, and so on and so forth. So yeah,
there's money in masterclass. So I mean, these days everybody's wanting to learn.
I know.
It's profitable, and you're already doing it successfully. So I mean, why not? That might be another business for 2020.
Another source of income. We'll see.
Yeah, in this COVID era, we're just snatching up all the sources of income because
people have asked me to do a masterclass for broadcasting or being an honor personality. I mean, I'm more than qualified to do a masterclass. I've been doing it for 15 years. So, but eventually, I'll do it.
Fantastic. Remy, thank you so much. I see Lamide in the audience. Hi, Lamide. I see your hubby in the audience. Hi, Remy's hubby.
Yeah, someone is asking for salary. We'll discuss that.
Okay. All right. Well, Remy, thank you so much. Thank you to everyone who's joined us today. I feel like I've known you as an industry colleague, but I really didn't sort of know so much about your business side. So getting to hear about it firsthand from you has been so interesting, and I've even learned a lot as well from what you've said, although we are in different industries. So we appreciate I know you're on the radio very soon, and Instagram is going to cut us off. So we're going to put this on replay for anyone who wants to, their friend to watch it, sister, cousin. It's going to be on our IGTV very shortly. So thank you guys, and see you again on Tuesday when we'll have another guest right here on Smartpreneur. Thank you, Remy. Bye.
Bye.
Take care.